Tina Fey, whichever one you want to call her.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to talk to you today about what I'm calling teacher spin. So my name's Dani Sloan. I'm from UEN, and before that, I was a 4th grade teacher. And I used social media all the time to connect with my students and with parents and with pretty much anyone who would listen. I'm also a huge fan of the TV show Scandal. And on Scandal, we see how Olivia Pope can spin stories from negative, terrible, life-ending stories into positive stories for her clients, even the presidency. So I'd like to know how teachers can do the same thing. Now, I like to believe that we as teachers, we live in the land of sunshine and rainbows. We get to see positive change through our students all the time. We see the aha moments. We make relationships that last a lifetime, but that's not always how everyone sees us. Unfortunately, how the media portrays teachers and how the greater population views teachers isn't as nice. So I asked teachers on social media, what's one word that how you think the media describes you, and one word on how you would describe your own classroom. So here's how teachers feel like the media represents them. Whiny, incompetent, babysitters. These are some pretty terrible words, right? Now, how would teachers actually describe the learning that's happening in their classroom? We see words like collaborative, purposeful, emotional, hilarious, interactive. That is a pretty sharp contrast. So how do we get from one extreme to the other? Well, I think the answer is not all of us hiring our own PR agent, because that's not fiscally possible. But we can become our own PR agent by using the social media tools that we all already have to promote good things that are happening in classrooms. We've mastered the PLNs, okay? We as teachers, we're great at connecting with each other and sharing ideas. Where we can stand to improve is advocating for ourselves. Most teachers are pretty humble people, which is great, but we also need to share the great things that are happening in our classrooms. First, we need to decide who are our customers and who are our critics. Now, depending on what you teach and where you teach, that's going to be different for everyone. But we can all agree that it's probably other teachers, students, parents, legislatures, and school districts, okay? We need to reach out and make sure we are capturing their attention with our social media. And not just the early adopters and STEM wizards. We need every teacher tweeting out and sharing on Instagram, Facebook, all the great things that are happening in classrooms. So your first thing, you need to find your audience. Find who your people are and where they're at. If they're my age, they're probably on Instagram. If they're younger than me, they're on Twitter. If they're older than I am, that's Facebook. Okay, use your citizenship as, use this as a chance to model digital citizenship, okay? This can be a great way to show your students how you can use these tools as best practices. Keep your LinkedIn page updated, post YouTubes of you teaching. Respect your students' privacy. So my rule as a teacher was I always posted pictures of student work or of students working, not of students. But that doesn't have to be your rule. I've seen plenty of administrators and teachers post great pictures of students, but just make sure you ask them first. Let pictures tell your tale. So you may have great things going on in your classroom, and you can share that through a newsletter or a blog, but let me tell you, it's way easier to just post one Instagram a day. Share your students' successes and your successes. Shout it from the rooftops because no one else is. If the only thing that we're hearing is how negative and whiny teachers are, that's the only thing that people are hearing. Okay, so we need to be using it to share wonderful things that are happening. Use social media to ask questions. Who doesn't like to be called an expert, right? Reach out to astronauts, authors, statisticians. If you call them an expert on Twitter, they will be in your class, or at least maybe virtually, helping your students learn. Now, whether we like it or not, our students are always going to be better at social media than we are, and that's okay. Embrace it. Outsource the posting. Let them take over your Instagram feed, your Twitter account, whatever it is, they'll be great at it. Okay, make sure you're tagging schools, your school district, your legislatures, any educational leaders. If you know that there's a hashtag that they're following, post using that hashtag. Then the media will be used to seeing your name out there. And when there's something really great happening in your classroom, you can reach out to the media directly because they are always looking for a feel-good story, okay? And we've all heard the phrase, Those who can't, teach. Let's spin that. Those who teach, tweet. Thank you for your 5 minutes.